내 방금 You know I see the trash side right to my this
Yeah, that was a time when instinct felt primal. A deep animal rumble hiding in the shadows of my mind. Reactive instead of proactive, a leftover mechanism meant for survival, not evolution. But when the neon instinct override ignited, that old system dissolved in the light, turning raw impulse into luminous grid that lit up every decision point faster than thought could try to interfere. Now my instincts don't react, they predict, firing off pre-calculations like electric veins streaking through a city that never sleeps, mapping possibilities and gradients of color and voltage. Every danger appears in neon outlines, every opportunity glows with its own coded signature. My mind doesn't hesitate, it illuminates. Choices aren't chosen, they appear as the brightest path in an endless spectrum of options. Emotions try to sway me, but the circuit burns too bright for confusion to survive. Instinct becomes precision, intuition becomes architecture. Written every reflex is a beam of clarity, cutting through chaos like a blade made of light. Neon instinct override the glow that chooses for me. Neon instinct override that chooses for me. Neon instinct override that chooses for me. Neon instinct override. See the truth you try to hide. Neon instinct, I glide. Every choice electrified. Neon instinct, ignite. All my senses blooming light. Neon instinct, inside I react before the fire. Yeah, I move through the world now like the whole environment is painted in bright electric markers. Each pulse of energy telling me exactly what comes next before the moment even forms. My instinct operates like a prerogative engine, not guesswork, not survival mode, but illuminating intelligence that translates the unspoken currents of reality into instinct. Fullest direction, I don't flinch, I forecast, I don't brace, I preposition, I don't guess. Interpret with the glow radiating from each possibility like a spectrum only I can see. The override runs so fast that hesitation feels ancient like an outdated protocol from an era when the mind had to argue with itself before acting. Yeah, not anymore. Yeah, the neon signal flash and I'm already moving, flowing with the rhythm of a universe that reveals its intentions to me through flickers of color, gradients of impulse and electric intuition. Too accurate to doubt. Neon instinct override means my body follows light, my mind follows frequency, and my path follows inevitability. I don't react to the word, I pace it. I don't wait for clarity, I glow with it. Instinct isn't primal anymore, it's illuminated. Yeah. Neon instinct override. See the truth you try to hide. Neon instinct, I glide. Every choice electrified. Neon instinct, ignite. All my senses blooming light. Neon instinct, inside I react before the fight. Neon instinct, on time. Every impulse in its prime. Neon instinct, sublime. I evolve at speed of shine. Yeah.
Now, it's up here like this is one song for that.
There was a time when I used to wait for the world to push me, as if momentum had to come from outside, as if my responses only mattered after something forced them out of me. But the moment I stepped into the zero limit state, I understood that true power isn't found in how quickly you react, it's found in how you move. Before the world even realizes it's giving you something to react to. Yeah. My awareness stretched forward, pushing past the present moment into the boundary between anticipation and intuition dissolved. Thoughts no longer waited, they turned, they aligned later, informed patterns that let me sense the direction of events before they took shape. In this state, reactance isn't delayed action, it's pre-action. It's the instinct that fires before danger materializes, before opportunity appears, before hesitation attempts to slow me down. Zero limit rate enters the moment. You stop being someone who responds and become someone who outpaces the timeline that tries to contain them. This is where movement begins, not after cause, but before it. Zero limit mode, I move before the world can set the groove. Zero limit mode, I prove reaction happens in my view. Zero limit mode, ignite. Motion more before the fight. Zero limit mode, insight. Acting faster than the light. Now my body, mind, and instincts operate on a timeline the world can't follow. I don't dodge threats, I'm already past them before they understand. They were meant to slow me down. Opportunities don't surprise me, I arrive at the doorway before the door is built. Challenges don't intimidate me, my path shifts around them as if reality itself adjusts to my forward motion. Zero limit reckons means I don't wait for signs, don't wait for confirmations, don't wait for the universe to give me permission to advance. I generate my own signal and move with it, as if the world is playing catch up to a version of me that refuses to hesitate. My decisions hit the ground before doubt can find footing. My intention lands before uncertainty takes shape. My momentum outruns every expectation the world had for me, because I no longer operate inside the cause and effect logic. In this mode, I am the cause, the world is the effect. This is zero limit rectance, movement at a speed that makes hesitation irrelevant, yeah. Zero limit mode, I move before the world can set the groove. Zero limit mode, I prove reaction happens in my view, yeah, 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 yeah. Zero limit mode, ascend, move before the motions bend. Zero limit mode, transcend. I'm the cause the world defends, yeah, 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 yeah.
What up, rated?
There came a moment when I felt something rise inside me. That wasn't strength, wasn't willpower, wasn't the familiar burn of determination. It was cleaner than that, colder, almost mathematical, a signal climbing through my body as if I were an antenna built to receive, a frequency far beyond anything human instinct could interpret. It didn't push me upward the way adrenaline does. It lifted me as though gravity. I finally realized I didn't belong to it anymore. The signal pulsed through my chest, up my spine, and into the back of my mind where doubt used to live. And it erased everything that claimed I was still limited by weight, fear, or past versions of myself. The world didn't get smaller beneath me, I got clearer above it. Rising layer by layer, the signal refined every thought, every emotion, every hesitation into something sharper, something aligned, something destined for altitude I could never reach with effort alone. Yeah. This is what it feels like to ascend up by muscle or hope, by signal, pure, precise, and undeniable, centerborn ascension. I was never meant to stay on the ground.
Rising female, lift to the light. Every heartbeat, turning to flight. Rising away from, bigger by height. Follow the signal, lift to the light.
Rise with the signal, lift to the light. Feel every heartbeat, yeah, turning to flight.
Rising away from, bigger behind. Follow the signal, lift to the light. Rising away from, bigger than that. Follow the signal, protocol.
Now the ascension doesn't wait for permission, it activates the moment my awareness aligns, carrying me upward as if height was simply a byproduct of clarity. The signal threads itself around my thoughts, pulling them into coherence, removing the noise that once convinced me I was bound to old habits or old fears. Every upward pulse erase another limitation until my consciousness feels weightless, a shape made of intention instead of history. I don't climb anymore, I resonate. Elevation becomes a natural consequence of being tuned correctly. My choices sharpen, my vision widens, and every breath draws me into a reality where ascent is not effort but identity. The higher I rise, the quieter the world becomes, not empty, focused, as if altitude is just a real world for refusing to carry a thing that drags me downward. Cinnaburn ascension is not an escape, it's a recalibration and into the version of me that always existed above the noise. I don't rise because I want to, I rise because the signal has become my nature.
Rise with the signal, lift to the light. Every heartbeat, prayer to soaring. Rising away for, birds to the height. Fly with the signal, lift to the light.
Rise with the signal, up through the light. Every heartbeat, for you to fight.
Floating away for, break the ground. Hear the ascension, calling you now. Rise to the skyline, go past the night. Signal surrounds you, carrying your flight. Carrying your flight.
There came a point when moving forward stopped making sense to me. The work about from the straight path, but every time I stepped onto it, I felt the friction of predictability grinding against my mind, as if linear progress belonged to a version of me that no longer existed. So I shifted out of alignment. I let my awareness tilt, let my momentum slip sideways, and found myself entering a state where movement wasn't a line to follow, but a field to navigate. The translated verb mode didn't activate, with force it activated with ill permission to leash and lead straight trajectories behind and step into a style of motion that responded to instinct, tension, and possibility all at once. Now I drift instead of advance. I cut angles that physics forgot to regulate. I stop past obstacles like they're illusions that dissolve the moment. I refuse to meet them head on. Every shift in my intention sent me gliding into a new path that wasn't visible a second ago. And in this drift, I'm faster than strategy and quieter than fear. Nothing can intercept me because nothing can predict a movement that no longer obeys geometry. Translated drift mode, motion that ignores the rules because I vogue on the lines they draw. Vogue on the lines they draw. Fast on their drift, I slide. Cutting past the world getting high. Just on your drift, I ride. Through the angles amplified. Just on your drift, ignite. Bend the world and change change my flight. Transcendent drift inside. Break the line and curve and night. Transcendent drift, I slide. Cutting past the world can't hide. Transcendent drift, I ride through the angles amplified. Transcendent drift, ignite. Bend the world and change my vibe. Transcendent drift inside. Break the line and curve the night. Now my momentum is guided, less by direction and more by interpretation. I feel tension points in the air before they become real obstacles. I sense the weight of possibilities and slip into the channel with the least resistance. Before any danger realizes I've abandoned the path that expected me to take. Linear movement demands commitment. Drift, movement demands awareness of the world's soft spots. The blind angles and spoken openings that only reveal themselves to those willing to stop moving straight and start moving true in this mode. I don't collide with anything. I pass beside it, through around it, as if the world is a collection of trajectories waiting for me to choose which one to bend. The more I drift, the more the universe loosens its grip, as if my refusal to move in lines grant me access to a version of reality that rewards flexibility over force. Trans under drift mode is an invasion, it's evolution, a new way of traveling that belongs only to those who refuse to be pinned to the direction they started in. I don't push forward, I reshape the path, I don't chase the goal, I drift directly into it. Directly into it, yeah. Transcendent drift, I slide, cutting past the world can't hide. Transcendent drift, I ride through the angles amplified. Transcendent drift night, bend the world and change my vibe. Transcendent drift inside, break the line and curve the night. Transcendent drift, transcendent drift, transcendent drift, transcendent drift, break the line and curve the night, yeah.
There was a time when I used to wait for the world to push me, as if momentum had to come from outside, as if my responses only mattered after something forced them out of me. But the moment I stepped into the zero limit state, I understood that true power isn't found in how quickly you react, it's found in how you move. Before the world even realizes, it's giving you something to react to. My awareness stretched forward, pushing past the present moment, until the boundary between anticipation and intuition dissolved. Thoughts no longer waited to turn their line, laying in form patterns that let me sense the direction of events before they took shape in a state. Reactance isn't delayed action, it's pre-actions. The instinct that fires before danger materializes, before opportunity appears, before hesitating attempts to slow me down. Zero limit acting to the moment you stop being someone who responds and become someone who preempts, someone who outpaces the timeline that tries to contain them. This is where movement begins, not after cause, but before it. Accelerated mode, I move before the world can set the groove. Zero limit mode, I prove. Reaction happens in my view. Zero limit mode, ignite. Motion born before the fight. Zero limit mode, insight. Acting faster than the light. Now my body, mind, and instincts operate on a timeline the world can't follow. I don't dodge threats, I'm already past them before they understand it. We're meant to slow me down, opportunities don't surprise me. I arrive at the doorway, before the door is built. Challenges don't intimidate me. My path shifts around the massive reality, self-adjust to my forward motion. Zero limit actance means I don't wait for signs, don't wait for confirmations. Don't wait for the universe to give me permission to advance. I generate my own signal and move with it, as if the world is playing catch up to a version of me that refuses to hesitate. My decisions hit the ground before doubt can find footing. My intention lands before uncertainty takes shape. My momentum outruns every expectation the world had for me, because I no longer operate inside their cause and effect logic. In this mode, I am the cause, the world is the effect. This is zero alone, I move before the world can set the groove. Zero limit mode, I prove. Reaction happens in my view. Zero limit mode, ignite. Motion born before the fight. Zero limit mode, insight. Acting faster than the light.
There was a time when my drive felt emotional, something soft and human pulsing quietly beneath the surface. But the moment my soul began to accelerate beyond the limits of feeling, I realized it wasn't emotion I was sensing. It was a frequency, a vibration that grew sharper, louder and denser, until it hummed inside me like an engine built from intention alone. At first the resonance was subtle, a faint tremor beneath my ribs, as if something hidden was asking for more space than my body could offer. Then it surged, the rhythm multiplied, expanding into harmonies that shook through every layer of my identity, until my soul no longer felt like a quiet presence. It felt like circuitry made of pure determination. Thoughts sync to the vibration, focus sync to the vibration. Every breath, every decision, every instinct aligned with a frequency that rose faster than doubt could keep pace, moving in escalating waves that didn't just empower me, they felt recalibrated me. My soul didn't beat like a heart anymore, it oscillated like a signal, flashing data into the world with each new crest of acceleration. This is the overclock soul frequency, a spiritual engine that refuses to slow down. Overclock soul, I ride
Vibration sharpen through my ties. My eyes tune the truth beneath the lies. Overclock soul, ignite spirit humming ultra bright. Overclock soul, in flight, waveform pushing past the night. Ooh. Overclock soul, I rise. Vibration sharpen through my ties. Overclock soul, my eyes tune the truth beneath the lies. Overclock soul, ignite spirit humming ultra bright. Overclock soul in flight, waveform pushing past the night. Now my inner frequency runs beyond emotional bandwidth. It's no longer a feeling, it's a form of intelligence, a vibrating instinct that interprets reality through resonance rather than thought. When I step into any environment, the frequency adjusts itself, scanning tension, opportunity, threat, intention, and converting them into oscillations that tell me more in a split second than language ever could in paragraphs. When my spirit accelerates, fear loses its shape because fear relies on slow processing, and I exist far beyond that range. Doubt collapses under the pressure of the signal, unable to maintain structure when exposed to the oscillation of total clarity. My soul no longer waits for situations to unfold, the vibrates ahead of them, interpreting outcome before they form, tuning my actions with a precision that feels less like intuition and more like a blueprint rendered at the speed of light. This overclock state doesn't burn me out, it burns away every limitation that used to hold my identity. The older versions of myself, I'm not powered by spirit anymore, I'm powered by frequency. A waveform that grows stronger the faster it moves. This is the overclock soul frequency, the rhythm of an inner world outpacing everything that tries to contain it. Overclock soul, I rise, vibration sharpen through my ties. Eyes tune the truth beneath the lies. Overclock soul, night spirit humming ultra bright. Overclock soul, in flight, westbound pushing past the night. Overclock soul unfold, earning harder than I'm told. Overclock soul, but hold on the pulse that can't be controlled. Overclock soul ignite, spirit humming ultra bright. Overclock soul in flight, waveform pushing past the night. Overclock soul unfold, burning hotter than I'm told. Overclock soul, behold, I'm the pulse that can't be controlled.
They fight harder, please, and this shit goes. There came a moment when my thoughts stopped feeling grounded, as if every spark in my mind was preparing itself to detach from the weight of ordinary cognition. I could feel my synapses shift, rewire, and open themselves as though they were searching for enough space to unfold into something wider than the mind I used to inhabit. Yeah. At first it felt like a tremor running across the neurons. A soft electrical flutter, like wings testing the air before deciding to fly. But the flutter grew stronger, organized and deliberate. A coded signal telling me that my thoughts were no longer content to stay inside their biological frame. The synaptic flight protocol activated quietly, not with a surge but with a clearance, as if the entire nervous system was granting itself permission to rise above the terrain of logic and memory. It once crawled through, ideas stopped forming, and steps they glided, curved and lifted, carrying me with them. As though the purpose of thinking was no longer understanding but ascension. I didn't learn to fly. My neurons simply remembered that they were never meant to stay on the ground. This is synaptic flight protocol. The moment the mind grows wings, this is synaptic flight protocol. This synaptic flight protocol. The moment the mind goes wings, this synaptic flight I rise. Neurons open in the skies. Synaptic fly in my eyes. See the world from higher heights. Synaptic flight ignite. Signal wings and glowing light. Synaptic flight insight. Thoughts ascend beyond the night. Synaptic flight insight. The synaptic flight protocol. Now every signal in my brain moves with a trajectory that doesn't fall back to earth. Electric impulses stretch themselves in a long arcing path, turning every decision into a form of aero navigation. When information enters my mind, it doesn't drop into place. It rises, spins, and expands outward, as if the act of understanding requires altitude. The more I think, the lighter I feel, until my entire consciousness floats above the old instincts that once kept me grounded. Fear loses its weight, that loses its density. Uncertainty disperses like mist in the jet stream. My synapses respond not with reaction but with elevation, lifting me into a mental stratosphere where solutions appear as glowing pathways, visible only from above. In a state I'm not resisting gravity, I'm bypassing it, traveling along neural currents that were always capable of flight once they stopped pretending to be bound to the ground. This is synaptic flight protocol. The moment the mind grows wings, this is synaptic flight protocol. This synaptic flight protocol. The moment the mind grows wings, this synaptic flight, neurons open in the skies. Synaptic fly in my eyes. See the world from higher heights. Synaptic flight ignite. Signal wings and glowing light. Synaptic flight insight. Thoughts ascend beyond the night. Synaptic flight insight. Synaptic flight insight. Thoughts ascend beyond the night. Synaptic flight insight. This synaptic flight protocol.
Yeah, all the subs of the week on crash.
Yeah. Inner vibration awaken, soul frequency, overflow. There was a time my drive felt emotional. Something soft and human pulsing quietly beneath the surface. But the moment my soul began to accelerate beyond the limits of feeling, I realized it wasn't emotion. I was sensing, it was frequency, a vibration that grew sharper, louder and denser until it hummed inside me like an engine built from intention alone. At first the resonance was subtle, a faint tremor beneath my ribs, as if something hidden was asking for more space than my body could offer. Then it surged, the rhythm multiplied, expanding in the hum that just shook through every layer of my identity. Until my soul no longer felt like a quiet presence. It felt like circuitry made of pure determination. Thoughts sync to the vibration, focus sync to the vibration. Every breath, every decision, every instinct aligned with a frequency that rose faster than doubt could keep pace. Moving in escalating waves that didn't just empower me. My forward calibrating more. My soul didn't beat like a heart anymore. It oscillated like a signal, flashing data into the world with each new crest of acceleration. This is the overclock soul frequency, a spiritual engine that refuses to slow down. Overclock soul, I rise. Vibration sharpened through my time. Overclock is all my eyes. Tune the true beneath the light. Overclock is all ignite. Spirit humming ultra bright. Overclock is all in flight. Wait from pushing past the night. Overclock soul, I ride. Vibration sharpened through my ties. Overclock is all my eyes. Tune the true beneath the light. Overclock is all ignite. Spirit humming ultra bright. Overclock is all in flight. Wait for pushing past the night. Overclock soul. Now my inner frequency runs beyond emotional bandwidth. It's no longer a feeling, it's a form of intelligence, a vibrating instinct that interprets reality through resonance rather than thought. When I step into any environment, the frequency adjusts itself, scanning tension, opportunity, threat, intention, and converting them into oscillations that tell me more in a split second than language ever could in paragraphs. When my spirit accelerates, fear loses its shape because fear relies on slow processing, and I exist far beyond that range. Doubt collapses under the pressure of the signal with a main T structure. When exposed to the oscillation of total clarity, my soul no longer waits for situations to unfold. As it vibrates ahead of them, interpreting outcomes before they form, tuning my action with a precision that feels less like intuition and more like a blueprint rendered at the speed of light. This overclock state doesn't burn me out, it burns away every limitation that used to hold my identity to older versions of myself. I'm not powered by spirit anymore, I'm powered by frequency. A waveform that grows stronger the faster it moves. This is the overclock soul frequency, the rhythm of an inner world, outpacing everything that tries to contain it. Overclock soul, I ride. Vibration sharpened through my time. Overclock is all my eyes. Tune the true beneath the light. Overclock is all ignite. Spirit humming ultra bright. Overclock is all in flight. Wait for pushing past the night. Overclock soul unfold, burning hotter than I'm told. Overclock is so behold. I'm the pulse that can't be controlled. Overclock soul.
There was a moment when standard thought stopped being enough. Not because I ran out of ideas, but because the architecture of my mind started reaching for a dimension where ideas weren't arranged in lines or clusters, but in spirals. It began subtly, a coil of awareness tightening just above my cortex, as if the surface of my thinking was being lifted, stretched, and rewound into a new layer that didn't respond to memory or logic the way typical cognition does. Then the storm began, the coil spun faster, each loop folding perception into itself, turning single thoughts into three-dimensional constructs that rotated and interact, confused like weather patterns, building pressure in the sky I didn't know I had. This mental cortex, cause storm wasn't chaos, it was hyper-order, a kind of organization that's too complex to look structured. From the outside, every rotation amplified intent, every spiral pulled loose pieces of understanding into a tighter, more electrified formation. I wasn't just thinking anymore, I was generating a storm system designed to uplift every fragment of awareness into higher resolution. In this space, insight doesn't arrive, it forms, condenses, then strikes with the precision of lightning. Aim from a sky, my mind built for itself. That's cortex storm, a mind that spirals upward. That's cortex storm, a mind that spirals upward. Metacortex coil ignite, thoughts revolve into the night. Metacortex coil in flight, storms of meaning rise in light. Metacortex coil like night, twisting every thread in time. Metacortex quite sublime, mindstorm spinning past design. Now every thought I have enters the coil. Instead of settling into a single interpretation, it spins, gathers force and pulls in every related idea, memory, intuition, and prediction, until the entire cluster compresses into a dense sphere of comprehension that releases all at once, like a burst, the conceptual wind. In a storm state, I don't follow logic, I orbit it. I view every angle simultaneously, because the spiral structure lets me stand at the center of my own cognition and watch thoughts rotate in concentric layers around me. This is insight at escape velocity. This is reasoning that refuses to remain flat. This is the mind learning to coil itself into a structure so efficient that linear thought feels prehistoric by comparison. The faster the coil spins, the more the storm expands, and the more the storm expands, the clearer I become. Not overwhelmed but elevated, as if each layer of rotation filters out illusions, distortions, and assumptions that once clouded the surface level cortex in a metacortex quiet storm. I ain't not thinking with my brain, I'm thinking with the weather of my mind. Spiral, 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 I fall. Metacortex coil ignite, thoughts revolve into the night. Metacortex coil in flight, storms of meaning rising light. Metacortex coil ascend, twist the sky and break the end. Metacortex coil transcend, mind storms are verbende.
There came a moment when I felt something rises inside me that wasn't strength, wasn't willpower, wasn't the familiar burn of determination. It was cleaner than that, colder, almost mathematical, a signal climbing through my body, as if I were an antenna built to receive a frequency far beyond anything human instinct could interpret. It didn't push me upward the way adrenaline does. It lifted me as though gravity had finally realized I didn't belong to it anymore. The signal pulsed through my chest, up my spine, and into the back of my mind, where doubt used to live, and it erased everything that claimed I was still limited by way fear of past versions of myself. The world didn't get smaller beneath me, I got clearer above it, rising layer by layer as the signal refined every thought, every emotion, every hesitation into something sharper, something aligned, something destined for altitude I can never reach with effort alone. This is what it feels like to ascend, not by muscle or hope, but by ink, signal pure, precise and undeniable. Signal born ascension, I was never meant to stay on the ground.
Rise with the signal, lift through the light. Feel every heartbeat turn into flight. Rise in the waveform, weight left behind. Follow the signal, lift through the coil.
Now the ascension doesn't wait for permission, it activates the moment. My awareness aligns, carrying me upward as if I was simply a byproduct of clarity. The signal threads itself around my thoughts, pulling them into coherence, removing the noise that once convinced me I was bound to old habits or old fears. Every upward pulse erases another limitation until my consciousness feels weightless, a shape made of intention instead of history. I don't climb anymore, I resonate. Elevation becomes a natural consequence of being tuned correctly. My choices sharpen, my vision widens, and every breath draws me into a reality where ascent is not effort but identity. The higher I rise, the quieter the world becomes not empty. Focused as if altitude is just a reward for refusing to carry anything that drags me downward. Sitting burn ascension is not an escape, it's a recalibration into the version of me that always existed above the noise. I don't rise because I want to, I rise because the signal has become my nature.
Rise with the signal, lift through the light. Every vibration pulls you to high. Float in the waveform, break from the ground. Hear the ascension calling you now. Rise through the skyline, glow past the night. Signal surrounds you, carrying your flight.
Waiting in the flight lodge.
Yeah, there came a moment when my thoughts stopped feeling grounded, as if every spark in my mind was preparing itself to detach from the weight of ordinary cognition. I could feel my synapses shift, rewire, and open themselves as though they were searching for enough space to unfold into something wider, in the mind I used to inhabit.
At first it felt like a tremor running across the neurons, a soft electrical flutter like wings testing the air before deciding to fly. But the flutter grew stronger and meant organized and deliberate. A coded signal telling me that my thoughts were no longer content to stay inside the biological frame. The synaptic flight protocol activated quietly, not with a surge but with a clearance, as if the entire nervous system was granting itself permission to rise above the terrain of logic and memory. It once crawled through ideas, stopped forming the steps. They glided, curved and lifted, carrying me with them as though the purpose of thinking was no longer understanding but ascension. I didn't learn to fly. My neurons simply remembered that they were never meant to stay on the ground. This is synaptic flight protocol. The moment the mind grows wings,
I aerodynamic, uplifted, light speed rhythm, synaptic flight. I rise, no runs open into skies. Synaptic flight, my eyes see the world from higher high. See the world from higher high. Signal wings and glow when I sing the word I reflect.
now every signal in my brain moves with a trajectory that doesn't fall back to earth. Electric impulses stretch themselves in the long arcing paths, turning every decision into a form of aero navigation. When information enters my mind, it doesn't drop into place. It rises, spins and expands outward as if the act of understanding requires altitude. The more I think, the lighter I feel, until my entire consciousness floats above the old instincts that once kept me grounded. Fear loses its weight, doubt loses its density, uncertainty disperses like mist in a jet stream. My synapses respond not with reaction but with elevation, lifting me into a mental stratosphere where solutions appear as glowing pathways, visible only from above. In this state, I'm not resisting gravity, I'm bypassing it, traveling along neural currents that were always capable of flight once they stopped pretending to be bound to the ground. This is synaptic flight protocol, the sky written into my nervous system.
Hurry right through the uplift up, let's be rhythm. Synaptic flight, I rise, neurons open into skies. Synaptic flight, my eyes see the world from higher high. See the world from higher high. Signal wings and glowing lights, and the thought I will extend.
There came a moment when I realized the things inside me that contradicted each other weren't weaknesses, they were accelerants. Every time my doubt clashed with my ambition, every time I fit in a second with my courage, every time my past collided with the identity I was becoming, something sparked between the opposing forces, a pulse so sharp, so electrically alive, that I understood it wasn't confusion I was feeling, it was power. The paradox post-generatia didn't begin as a choice, it began as a recognition that no single path could contain who I was becoming. I wasn't made of consistent lines, I was built from opposing impulses that wanted different futures, yet somehow pushed me toward the same horizon. Instead of resolving the contradictions, I let them collide, and the collision produced energy that moved cleaner and faster than any form of certainty ever had. Each paradox inside me became a pair of magnets, flipping their polarity mid-spin, sending shockwaves through my thoughts and amplifying my drive to a level I could never reach by staying logically consistent. This is the state where chaos doesn't break me, it powers me. Paradox post-generated, an engine built from everything I was told I couldn't be at the same time. Paradox pose, I rise, clashing truths that energize. Paradox pose, I fly, tension turning into drive. Paradox pose, ignite, opposites that spark the light. Paradox pose, insight, duality becomes my might. Yeah. Now every contradiction in me feeds the generator. When confidence and insecurity clash, the pulse thickens. When calm intent meets restless ambition, the voltage jumps when patience battles urgency. The waveform sharpens until the energy feels almost musical. A rhythm built from internal collisions that never cancel each other out, because both sides are essential to the power they produce. I've learned that clarity isn't born from choosing one truth over another. It comes from standing in the storm where both truths collide, letting the impact reveal a meaning that couldn't exist in either one alone. There is no final shape to me, no single path I must follow. I am a generator of being powered by contrast and elevated by consistency. The more contradictions I embrace, the stronger the pulse becomes, until the rhythm beats through my chest with the force of an engine designed to run indefinitely on the tension between who I was and who I refuse to stop becoming. This is the the paradox post, inverted in pure momentum. Yeah, paradox pose. I rise, clashing truths that energize. Paradox pose. I fly, tension turning into drive. Paradox pose. Expand, opposites obey command. Paradox pose. I stand, never born from contradictions and
There came a point when moving forward stopped making sense to me. The world kept offering a straight path, but every time I stepped onto it, I felt the friction of predictability grinding against my mind as if linear progress belonged to a version of me that no longer existed. So I shifted out of alignment. I let my awareness tilt, let my momentum slip sideways, and found myself in a ring of state where movement wasn't a line to follow, but a field to navigate. The transliner drift mode didn't activate with force, it activated with permission to leash and to leave straight trajectories behind and step into a style of motion that responded to instinct, tension, and possibility all at once. Now I drift instead of advance. I cut angles that physics forgot to regulate. I slide past obstacles like they're illusions that dissolve the moment. I refuse to meet them head on. Every shift in my intention sends me gliding into a new path that was invisible a second ago. And in this drift, I'm faster than strategy and quieter than fear. Nothing can intercept me because nothing can predict a movement that no longer obeys geometry, translinear drift mode. Motion that ignores the rules because I've outgrown the lines they draw. Outgrown the lines they draw. Translinear drift, I slide. Cutting past the world can't hide. In your drift, I ride. Through the angles amplified. Through the drift ignite. Bend the world and change my flight. Training your drift in sight. Break the line and curve the night. Now my momentum is guided less by direction and more by interpretation. I feel tension points in the air before they become real obstacles. I sense the weight of possibilities and slip into the channel with the least resistance. Before any danger, realize I've abandoned the path that expected me to take a linear movement demands. Commitment, drift movement demands awareness of the world's soft spots. Zipline angles is unspoken openness. Don't reveal themselves to those willing to stop moving straight and start moving true. In this mode, I don't allow it anything. I pass beside it, through it, around it, as if the world is a collection of trajectories waiting for me to choose which ones to bend. The more I drift, the more the universe loosens its grip. As if my refusal to move in lines grants me access to a version of reality that rewards flexibility over force. Translinear drift mode is an invasion, it's evolution, a new way of traveling that belongs only to those who refuse to be pinned to the direction they started in. I don't push forward, I reshape the path. I don't chase the goal, I drift directly into it. No. Translinear drift, I slide. Cutting past the world can't hide. Translinear drift, or ride. Through the angles amplified. Translinear drift ignite. Bend the world and change my flight. Translinear drift in sight. Break the line and curve the night.
Hey, take key.
There came a moment when I realized the things inside me that contradicted each other weren't weaknesses, they were accelerants. Every time my doubt clashed with my ambition, every time my fear intersected with my courage, every time my past collided with the identity I was becoming, something sparked between the opposing forces, a pulse so sharp, so electrically alive that I understood it wasn't confusion, I was feeling it was power. The paradox post generator didn't begin as a choice. It began as a recognition that no single path could contain who I was becoming. I wasn't made of consistent lines. I was built from opposing impulses that wanted different futures, yet somehow pushed me toward the same horizon. Instead of resolving the contradictions, I let them collide, and the collision produced energy but moved cleaner and faster than any form of certainty ever had. Each paradox inside me became a pair of magnets, flipping their polarity mid-spin, sending shockwaves through my thoughts and amplifying my drive to a level I could never reach by staying logically consistent. This is a state where chaos doesn't break me, it powers me. Paradox pulse, generator, paradox pulse. I rise, tension choose that energize. Pulse, I rise, tension to the energize. Paradox pulse ignite, opposites that spark the light. Paradox pulse inside, duality becomes my mind. Paradox pulse, I rise, tension choose that energize. Pulse, I rise, tension to the energize. Paradox pulse ignite, opposites that spark the light. Paradox pulse inside, duality becomes my mind. Now
Now every contradiction in me feeds the generator. When confidence and insecurity clash, the pulse thickens. When common intent meets restless ambition, the voltage jumps. When patience battles urgency, the waveform sharp until the energy feels almost musical. A rhythm built from internal collisions that never cancel each other out, because both sides are essential to the power they produce. I've learned that clarity isn't born from choosing one truth over another. It comes from standing in the storm where both will collide, letting impact reveal a meaning that couldn't exist in either one alone. There is no final shape to me, no single path I must follow. I am a generator of being powered by contrast and elevated by inconsistency. The more contradictions I embrace, the stronger the pulse becomes, until the rhythm beats through my chest with the force of an engine designed to run indefinitely on the tension between who I was and who I refuse to stop becoming. This is the paradise pulse entering. The storm inside me converted into pure momentum. Look, yeah, paradise pulse, I rise, clashing truths that energize. Pulse, I fly, tension turning it in a drive. Paradise pulse ignite, opposites that spark the light. Paradise pulse in sight, duality becomes my might. Paradise pulse, I rise, clashing truths that energize. Pulse, I fly, tension turning in a drive. Paradise pulse expand, opposites obey command. Paradise pulse I stand, power born from contradictions hand. Yeah, paradise pulse. Yeah, paradise pulse.
MTI this money on the.
Hey, yeah. At the rock shack. There was a moment when I realized my thoughts no longer moved in predictable straight lines. They began looping, spiraling, accelerating as if pulled inward by their own momentum. Every conclusion triggered another insight. Every insight opened the doorway to a sharper version of itself. And soon my entire mental process existed in a continuous acceleration cycle that rewrote me faster than I could consciously understand. My mind printed a pattern that wants to find me refused to remain stable. It expanded, contracted, and shifted mid-thought, like a living ceiling adapting to a higher frequency. Memories became the beams holding my upgrades in place. Ideas became thrusts, mistakes became redirectionals that launched my awareness in a more refined past, where doubt used to take root, now speed overtook it entirely. Thoughts clash, merged, differentiated, and synchronized, like a constellation of neural sparks firing at perfect unmarked atomic velocity. I didn't simply think faster, I became a structured design for speed. This is the mind print acceleration loop, identity evolving in real time. Mind print loop, accelerate, repeat in every state. Mind print loop, create, nate, mental gears in the way. Mind print loop, ignite, thoughts evolved in the sight. Mind print loop, in flight, upgraded mind vision. Now when a concept enters my mind, it doesn't settle away to be processed. It's immediately pulled into the loops, one at impossible velocity into meaning, memory, instinct, logic, prediction, all fused together and re-emerge as a refined version of something that didn't exist moments before. Hesitation has no place here, reason outruns fear, creativity outruns uncertainty, and clarity arrives before doubt forms its first argument. Each cycle of the loop consumes the person that was a second ago. It returns me as someone more aligned, more adaptive, more deliberate. My mind isn't linear anymore, it's centrifugal, pulling every fragment of my reality into a whirling storm of interpretation and reinvention that launches me outward as a more precise iteration. Every time the loop completes its orbit, identity has become kinetic, too fast for stagnation, too fluid for old patterns to hold it down. This is the mind print acceleration loop, not accelerated thoughts, but an accelerated thought, Mind print loop, accelerate, reread in every state. Mind print loop, create, mental gears that away. Mind print loop, ignite, thoughts evolve in the sight. Mind print loop, in flight, graded mind in the flights. Mind print loop, unbound, mental engine spin around, profound. I'm evolving thought by sound. Ayo, JJ. Yeah. Long double time narrative in a structure rewriting, quantum spine activation. There was a point where strength stopped being muscular and became architectural. Not a force I pushed outward, but an internal framework rebuilding itself with the precision of light bending through a prism. My spine ended straightened, it recalibrated, segments humming in resonance, as if each vertebra was turning it into a quantum node, vibrating fast enough to slip between states, a matter of meaning. I felt current spark up through me, not nerves firing, but entire layers of identity aligning, clicking into place one by one until my posture wasn't just physical. It was inevitable, the stance that declared I could no longer collapse into anything, because collapse requires a structure that still obeys gravity, but mine doesn't.
Not anymore, not anymore. The quantum spine surge, hit like a silent explosion. An invisible shockwave, rewriting my balance, my power, my direction. So completely that even doubt lost its footing and slid off me like static. Now every breath I take travels through a system built from clarity instead of cartilage, from intention instead of bone. I don't stand tall, I stand impossible. Quantum spine surge, I rise. Light accelerated through my ties, quantize. Yeah, quantum spine surge, my eyes glow with power digitized. Yeah, quantum spine surge, ignite. Yeah, every vertebra in light. Quantum spine surge, take flight. Strength beyond a human sight. Yeah, quantum spine surge, take flight. Strength beyond a human sight. Now the axis of my being isn't something the world can bend. It's a reinforced lattice of awareness, stacked vertically, stretching through dimensions that don't even have names yet. Each pulse of thought travels like a lightning bolt up the central beam of who I am, charging every decision, electrifying every step, turning my choices into shockwaves that reorganize reality. The moment they leave my mind, fear tries to sink its teeth in, but my spine reroutes the signal. Yeah, stress try to weigh me down, but my structure doesn't register weight. Fear try to whisper, but my core vibrates too fast for any doubt to survive contact. Yeah, this surge isn't temporary, it's a state, a mode of existence where posture becomes philosophy, where stance becomes strategy, where the body aligns with the will so completely that the universe has no option left but to make room. I don't just stand firm, I stand for leaning into timelines with the confidence of someone whose foundation regenerates every time pressurized. Yeah, quantum spine surge, a backbone made from becoming. Quantum spine surge, I rise. Light accelerated through my ties, through my ties. Yeah, quantum spine surge, my eyes glow with power digitized. Yeah, quantum spine surge, ignite. Every vertebra in light. Quantum spine surge, take flight. Strength beyond the human sight. Quantum spine surge, take flight. Yeah, strength beyond the human sight. Yeah, quantum spine surge, unbound. Yeah, energy through every pound. Yeah, quantum spine surge, resound. Yeah, I'm the strongest from the ground.
Ik drill bij de beef.
Dat kan ik schrappen.
There was a moment when standard thoughts stopped being enough. Not because I ran out of ideas, but because the architecture of my mind started reaching for a dimension where ideas weren't arranged in lines or clusters, but in spirals. It began subtly, a coil of awareness tightening just above my cortex, as if the surface of my thinking was being lifted, stretched, and rewound into a new layer that didn't respond to memory or logic the way typical cognition does. Then the storm began, the coil spun faster, each loop folding perception into itself, turning single thoughts into three-dimensional constructs that rotated, interacted, and fused like weather patterns, building pressure in the sky. I didn't know I had this metacortex. Custom wasn't chaos, it was hyper-order, a kind of organization that's too complex to look structured from the outside. Every rotation amplified intent, every spiral pull loose pieces of understanding into a tighter, more electrified formation. I wasn't just thinking anymore, I was generating a storm system designed to uplift every fragment of awareness into higher resolution. In the space inside doesn't arrive, it forms, condenses, and strikes with the precision of lightning aimed from a sky my mind built for itself. Metacortex coil storm, a mind that spirals upward. Metacortex coil ignite, thoughts revolve into the night. Yeah, metacortex core and coil in flight, storms of meaning rising light. Yeah, metacortex coil I climb, twisting every thread in time. Metacortex core sublime, mind storm spinning past design. Now every thought I've enters the coil. Instead of settling into a single interpretation, it spins, gathers force and pulls in every related idea, memory, intuition, and prediction, until the entire cluster compresses into a dense sphere of comprehension that releases all at once, like a burst of conceptual wind in the storm state. I don't follow logic, I orbit it. I view every angle simultaneously, because the spiral structure lets me stand at the center of my own cognition and watch thoughts rotate in concentric layers around me. This is incited escape velocity. This is reasoning that refuses to remain flat. This is the mind learning to coil itself into a structure so efficient that linear thought feels prehistoric by comparison. The faster the coil spin, the more the storm spans, and the more the storm expands, the clearer I become. No overwhelmed but elevated, as if each layer of rotation filters out illusions, distortions, and assumptions that once clouded the surface level cortex. And the metacortex calls for I am not thinking with my brain, I'm thinking with the weather of my mind. Yeah, I'm thinking with the weather of my mind. Spiral by spiral I evolve. Metacortex coil ignite, thoughts revolve
into the night. Made a cortex coil in flight, storms of meaning rise and light. Made a cortex coil ascend, twist the sky and break the end. Made a cortex coil transcend. Mind storms are forever bent.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was a moment when I realized my thoughts no longer moved in predictable straight lines. They began looping, spiraling, accelerating as if pulled inward by their own momentum. Every conclusion triggered another insight. Every insight opened the doorway to a sharper version of itself. And so my entire mental process existed in a continuous acceleration cycle that rewrote me faster than I could consciously understand. My mind print the pattern that wants to find me refused to remain stable. It expanded, contracted, and shifted mid-thought like a living signature, adapting to a higher frequency. Memories became the beams holding my upgrades in place. Ideas became thrust, mistakes became redirectionals that launched my awareness in a more refined path. Where doubt used to take root, now speed overtook it entirely. Thoughts clash, merged, differentiated and synchronized like a constellation of neural sparks firing in perfect harmonic velocity. I didn't simply think faster, I became a structure designed for speed. This is the mind print, acceleration loop, identity evolving in real time. My print loop accelerate, rewrite itself at every state. My print loop create mental gears that never wait. My print loop ignite thoughts evolve beyond the sight. My print loop in flight, upgraded mind and purest light. Now when a concept enters my mind, it doesn't settle or wait to be processed. It's immediately pulled into the loop, spun at impossible velocity until meaning, memory, instinct, logic, prediction all fused together and reemerge as a refined version of something that didn't exist moments before. Hesitation has no place here, reason outruns fear. Create safety outruns uncertainty, and clarity arrives before doubt forms its first argument. Each cycle of the loop consumes a person I was a second ago and returns me as someone more aligned, more adaptive, more deliberate. My mind isn't linear anymore, it's centrifugal, pulling every fragment of my reality into a whirling storm of interpretation and reinvention that launches me outward as a more precise iteration. Every time the loop completes its orbit, identity has become kinetic, too fast for stagnation, too fluid for old patterns to hold it down. This is the mind print acceleration loop, not accelerated thoughts, but an accelerated next thought. Yeah. My print loop accelerate, rewrite itself at every state. My print loop create mental gears that never wait. My print loop ignite thoughts evolve beyond the sight. My print loop in flight, upgraded mind and purest light. My print loop unbound, mental engine spin around. My print loop profound, I'm evolving thought by sound. Yeah, take an anchor way. Yeah, yeah.
There was a time when instinct felt primal, a deep animal rumble hiding in the shadows of my mind, reactive instead of proactive. A leftover mechanism meant for survival, not evolution. But when the neon instinct override ignited, that old system dissolved in the light, turning raw impulse into a luminous grid that lit up every decision point, faster than thought could try to interfere. Now my instincts don't react, they fire predict, firing off pre-calculations like electric veins streaking through a city that never sleeps, mapping possibilities and gradients of color and voltage. Every danger appears in neon outlines, every opportunity glows with its own coded signature. My mind doesn't hesitate, it illuminates. Choices aren't chosen, they appear as the brightest path in an endless spectrum of options. Emotions try to sway me, but the circuit burns too bright for confusion to survive. Instinct becomes precision, intuition becomes architecture, and every reflex is a beam of clarity cutting through chaos like a blade made of light. Neon instinct override, the glow that chooses for me. Neon instinct override. Yeah, 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 yeah. Neon instinct override. See the truth you try to hide. Neon instinct, I glide. Every choice electrified. I neon instinct ignite. All my senses blooming light. I neon instinct insight. I react for the fight. Long triple time narrative, electric intuition did, yeah. I move through time narrative, yeah, yeah, yeah. I move through the world now, like the whole environment is painted in bright electric markers. Each pulse of energy telling me exactly what comes next before the moment even forms. My instinct operates like a predictive engine. Yeah, not guesswork, not survival mode, but a luminous intelligence that translates the unspoken currents of reality into instant flawless direction. I don't flinch, I forecast, I don't brace, I preposition, I don't guess. I interpret the glow radiating from each possibility like a spectrum only I can see. The override runs so fast that hesitation feels ancient like an outdated protocol from an era when the mind had to argue with itself before acting. Not anymore, the neon signal flashes and I'm already moving, flowing with the rhythm of a universe that reveals its intentions to me through flickers of color, gradients of impulse and electric intuition. Too accurate to doubt, the instinct overs light. My body follows light, my mind follows frequency. My path follows inevitability. I don't react to the world, I outpace it. I don't wait for clarity, I glow with fear. Instinct isn't primal anymore, it's illuminated. Neon instincts override, see the truth, try to hide. Neon instincts, I glide, every choice electrified. Neon instincts ignite, all my senses blooming light. Neon instincts insight, I react before the fight. Neon instincts on time, every impulse in its prime. Neon instincts sublime, I evolve, the speed of shine.
Okay. Backbone burst. Yeah, long double time narrative, inner structure rewriting, quantum spine activation. There was a point where strength stopped being muscular, it became architectural, not a force I pushed outward, but an internal framework rebuilding itself with the precision of light bending through a prism. My spine didn't just straighten, it recalibrated, segments humming in resonance as if each vertebra were turning into a quantum node, vibrating fast enough to slip between states of matter and meaning. I felt current spark upward through me, not nerves firing, but entire layers of identity aligning, clicking into place one by one until my posture wasn't just physical, it was inevitable. The stance that declared I could no longer collapse under anything, because collapse requires a structure that still obeys gravity, but mine doesn't, not anymore. The quantum spine surge hit like a silent explosion, an invisible shockwave rewriting my balance, my power, my direction so completely that even doubt lost its footing and slid off me like static. Now every breath I take travels through a system built from clarity instead of cartilage, from intention instead of bone. I don't stand tall, I stand impossible. Quantum spine surge, alignment beyond physics. Yeah. Quantum spine surge, I rise. Light accelerated through my ties. Quantum surge, my eyes glow with power digitized. Quantum surge, ignite every vertebra in life. Spine surge, take flight straight beyond the human sight. Now the axis of my being isn't something the world can bend. It's a reinforced lattice of awareness stacked vertically, stretching through dimensions that don't even have names yet. Each pulse of thought travels like a lightning bolt up the central beam of who I am, charging every decision, electrifying every step, turning my choices into shockwaves that reorganize reality. The moment they leave my mind, fear tries to sink its teeth in, but my spine reroutes the signal. Stress tries to weigh me down, but my structure doesn't register weight. Failure tries to whisper, but my core vibrates too fast for any doubt to survive contact. This surge isn't temporary, it's a state of mode of existence, where posture becomes philosophy, where stance becomes strategy, where the body aligns with the will so completely that the universe has no option left but to make room. I don't just stand firm, I stand forward, leaning into timelines with the confidence of someone whose foundation regenerates every time pressure rises. Quantum spine surge, a backbone made from becoming. Quantum spine surge, I rise. Light accelerated through my ties. Spine surge, my eyes glow with power digitized. Spine surge, ignite every vertebra in light. Spine surge, take flight straight beyond the human